What's up guys, welcome back to another episode. It has been raining solid for the last week here in Southern California, so I figure why not make the most of it and do an episode here, dry, in my office, where I'm going to talk to you all about my favorite adventure watches. If you're new to this channel, hello, my name's Adam. I'm originally from England, but now I live here in Newport Beach, California. My motto is find your everyday adventure, and on this channel, you can usually see me doing things like overnight camping on a frozen lake from my Sea-Doo, or going out to the Channel Islands here in shark-infested waters and free diving, or most recently, going out to the desert with my friends, doing hot springs, cold plunges with my dog Diesel and just having a great time. The other side of my personality, other than liking all the adventure stuff, is I love watches. And so obviously, when I'm out doing these adventures, I want to make sure that I've got the right timepiece on that is going to match what I'm doing, is going to stand up to what I'm doing, and is going to look good while I'm doing it too. I don't care how much watches are. Don't get me wrong, there are expensive watches that I have, there are expensive watches that I love, but I also have some very inexpensive watches that I love just as much. So I'm gonna take you through a kind of array of the watches that I wear the most when I'm out doing the things that I like to do, and I have put these things through the paces with the exception of one, which is brand new, but we'll get to that. But all of the others, I can tell you with absolute certainty that I've put them through the paces and they've come out the other side ticking. So without further ado, let's get into it. This here is the G-Shock GBD 200. The reason I'm showing you this one is because when I hit 100,000 subscribers on my channel, I did a collaboration with G-Shock and we had these custom ones made that have my logos on the strap. It's in my signature neon yellow color and I just absolutely love them. However, I have got so many, let me just show you a handful or maybe two handfuls of the G-Shocks that I own. So when I talk about liking G-Shocks, I really like G-Shocks. Like I said, I'm showing you this one because this one has a really special place in my heart. However, there is a G-Shock for every occasion. And the reason why I like this one is because it has all of your functions you need on this really cool LED display. This thing is so clear compared to, say, the LED display on my original G-Shock. This was the very first one that I ever bought about, God, probably 20 years ago now. And the display on this one is so nice. There's all the functions you need, like a stopwatch, world time. You've got, this is actually a smartwatch, so it'll do step tracking. You'll get notifications on it. It has an alarm, all the goodies that you'd expect from a digital watch. Now this one I believe right now is going for about $155, but you can also get more basic G-Shocks like the GA2100, which is a really nice watch. It's an analog face, so it doesn't have as much functionality of this, but it does have the small little displays in the bottom, so you can still access things like a stopwatch, an alarm, world time, all of that. This is just easier to see. But you can spend anywhere from, I think they start around $99 for a G-Shock, and then they go up and they do have some really expensive ones. My sweet spot with all of the ones that I own is in that like 100 to 150. The other reason why I like this with the neon yellow is because if you were to be out, you know, let's say you're going skiing and you were to get buried under some snow, the only thing left sticking out is your arm. Well, they're probably going to be able to see this when they come looking. Now, that's a very extreme example. I also just love neon yellow and it is my brand color, so I have a soft spot for this watch. But yeah, that is what I would start with. The indestructible G-Shock. Wear it anywhere. Everyone's going to know what it is. At the end of the day, you're not going to be able to go out to dinner and, you know, kind of show off with a G-Shock. They're not a dressy watch, whereas some of the ones that I'm getting to can do a bit of both. But this is definitely the most rugged, robust watch you can possibly wear for adventure and travel. So the next watch is a bit of a curveball because you might not look at it and think adventure watch. However, I think this, the Seiko Prospex Speedtimer, is a great option for someone that just wants to take one watch with them on a travel adventure trip where they can't be bothered to cart around multiple watches so they can switch out between the day and the evening, but they want the functionality and the robustness of a watch that is going to be able to do it all. I just want to do a quick shout out. This watch was actually gifted to me by Jeff at Precision Motorworks, another huge watch fanatic, and also the guy that built my Golf R race car and my truck. So if you haven't checked out those videos, go back through the channel and go and look at those if you're into cars and trucks. But Jeff, thank you so much, mate. I love this watch and it honestly has been my most worn watch since he gifted it to me. I pretty much haven't taken this off my wrist. I love it. And one of the things that I love about it so much, obviously, is the fact that it looks like a Rolex Daytona. It looks just like the Daytona Panda, and I've had people mistake this for the Panda more than once. However, it only costs $455. Now, this one does have an aftermarket strap on it, and that makes a huge difference to the way that the watch feels. This is from a company called Strapco, but this watch is really weighty, beautifully made, incredibly robust, and I think the perfect choice for somebody that is going to go on a trip, a travel adventure, somewhere where they're going to need a watch that's going to stand up to maybe some hiking or some skiing, but also when they go to the hotel bar at night or they go out to a nice restaurant, they're going to wear it and it's going to look classy and dressy. And this watch, I think, really does it all. Now, I wouldn't go diving in this watch. I wouldn't use this watch for any like water activities. So if I'm going out my Sea-Doo, I'm not going to wear this one. But I did recently take this on a trip where I was out hiking and I was out in the snow. And when this is underneath some snow gloves and you know, it's got a little bit of extra protection from just your clothing, there is no reason why you can't put this through the paces. So like I said, a bit of a curveball, but if you want a watch that does it all, it's rugged, robust. Obviously you've got the chronograph function on this. So if you need to time something, you can time stuff, and it just looks absolutely beautiful. Look no further. This, my friends, is one of the best value watches money can buy right now. Whether you want to do adventure stuff or not, get one. If you've been thinking about it, get one. I love it. So earlier on, I said that there was one watch here that I haven't yet put through its paces, and it's this one. So this is the new Apple Watch Ultra. So this is the big boy. It has all of your features you would expect from an Apple Watch, like it monitors your heart rate, it monitors your breathing, it checks for your blood oxygen levels. I mean, it's incredible what this thing does. It also has a walkie-talkie function that's really cool. So if someone else has one, you can do walkie-talkie stuff back and forth. It's just a really cool watch. And I haven't owned an Apple Watch since I think the version 2. The reason I got this is not to replace the watch that I would wear on my left wrist. I actually wear this on my right wrist all of the time because most importantly for me, I like the fact that I'm able to get all of my functionality from my phone onto my wrist so that if someone sends me a text or I get a message or something, I get a notification, glance, and then I know what I'm doing. I don't have to pull my phone out of my pocket, unlock it, look, check it out. I can just have a look and I waste far less time and spend far less time in my day looking at my actual phone. The other nice thing about this watch that I'm really excited to try is it has a dive feature where it will actually monitor your depth and water temperature. So for me, who loves to free dive, that is going to be awesome. So I can't wait to test out that function. Like I said, I haven't yet, I've only had it a couple of days, but I wanted to throw it in here because if you are just looking for a watch that does it all, it tells the time. I have a GMT face on mine, so I'm able to see the time in London, back in the UK where all my family is. I can also see the weather conditions. I can see when sunrise and sunset is going to be. It does everything. So that's why I wanted to throw this one in the mix. Like I said, I haven't actually been able to go and try it yet properly, but I have no doubt that this is going to perform really well and is going to be constantly affixed to my right wrist. Now, the one thing I will say, in the 72 hours that I have owned it, I have had a problem with it not being able to read through my tattoos sometimes. If you're not tattooed, it's not going to be a problem for you, but just know that if you are tattooed and you do have particularly dark tattoos, then you might struggle sometimes to get it to read. It doesn't happen often. I would say maybe once or twice a day, I'll look at it and I'll have to put my passcode in because it doesn't realize that it's on my wrist. And as soon as I do that, it reconnects and everything's good. But I just want to be very clear with you guys, give you the experience that I've had with it. That is the only issue so far that I've had. Also, I have it in this protective case. I believe this is from Spigen. I'll link this one in the description too, just to stop me from knocking it on stuff. And you know, at the end of the day, I don't want this watch for its looks. I want it for its functionality. So if you are considering a one-stop shop watch that will do it all, don't sleep on the new Apple Watch Ultra. Oh, I don't think I said how much this thing costs. $779 as of filming this video right now. And you can also, if you go into Apple, trade in an old iPhone, get credit for it, and then use it towards the watch. So I traded in, I believe it was an iPhone X, and I got $130 off this watch. So just something for you to know if you fancy going and getting one of these from the Apple Store. So finally, if you've watched this channel for any length of time, then you will know how much I love my Panzera watches. And this one is the Panzera to end all Panzeras. So this is my Aquamarine 45 Swiss chronograph, and I have done the most wild things wearing this watch, and it is still going. This uses a Valjoux Swiss automatic movement, which is a really high-end movement. Back in the day, was actually using some Rolexes, a modified version before you watch nerds come after me, but you know that it comes with some pedigree when Rolex are happy to use it in their watches. I have beat this thing to death. And when I say that, I fell off an e-bike once and smashed it into the floor so hard that the lugs in the back cut my wrist and made me bleed, but somehow the face was absolutely fine. So this thing really is a tank. I mean, I don't know what it weighs, but it's like, it weighs a lot. It is a considerable chunk of metal on your wrist. I have it on my signature Swords neon yellow strap, but they also do all the other colors of rubber, and they do a metal strap, which is beautiful, or a metal bracelet, I should say. So that really dresses the watch up and makes it look huge. Like I said, it is a chronograph, so you have the top pusher to start and stop, the bottom pusher to reset. So if you need to time something, if you're diving, if you're racing, if whatever you need to time something, you can do it with this. Now, when I say I've beaten this thing up, I've been diving with this probably 4 or 5 times in the last couple of months, and realized that I'm actually missing 2 screws from the back of the case, and it hasn't leaked any water. So trust me when I say that I've put this thing through its paces. I love how it looks. However, they've just come out with a new updated model. So this one that I'm showing you right now, no longer available. You can't buy this one. But the new one has this awesome new bezel on it and a slightly different case shape. And I think I might love it even more. So I'm gonna have to get my hands on one of those from Panzera, because this thing has done me proud, and I'm sure the new one is gonna be just as special. Now, this is an expensive watch. This is $1,500 right now on the Panzera website, but if you can't stump up for that, or you don't want to stump up for that, then there is a new option that I've just been sent, which is the new Aquamarine 45 Quartz. So this features a quartz movement, which is a battery operated movement. And so that means that you don't have the automatic movement. That means that you either have to wind it every time you put it on, if it's been sat for a while, or when it's on your wrist, every time you move your wrist, the little rotor spins around inside and charges the watch for you, winds the watch. This has a battery in it, so as long as that battery has juice, the watch will tell the correct time. It's very similar in its look. This is obviously more rounded than this one, but the same thing with the big pushers on the side, the big knurled crown, so it's easy to get your hands on. So if you do want to change the time or anything while you're wearing gloves or anything like that, you'll have no issues whatsoever. You've got the chronograph feature here, so the sub dials are going to allow you to do any timing you need. And this one, again, is on a neon yellow strap. They do a metal bracelet for this as well. Right now, these are for sale for $640 on the Panzera website, which when you compare to $1,500, you're getting the same functionality, obviously quartz movement versus automatic, but you still have the chronograph feature. They still both look beautiful. You can also do different colored faces on these, and you can do a different colored case. So if you don't like the stainless, you can actually get this in black as well, which is nice and stealthy. And so with a black rubber strap, that would look really nice. So these are the watches that I wear the most frequently right now, but I will say there are some other notable mentions and brands that I haven't actually got into myself, but I would love to check out one day. People like Luminox. They are another brand that I know are a dedicated adventure watch. You've got like compasses and like paracord bits and fire starters and all kinds of goodies on there that make them a lot more suitable for people who are like actually going out into the wild and need something that's going to do it all. This selection here are watches that I wear on my everyday adventures. They're watches that will take a beating, that look good, and that will continue to work week after week after month after year after year. All of these watches will be linked in the description, so you can go and check them out afterwards and get more techie details on it. I didn't want to go too deep onto these because I know some of you guys aren't super watch nerds, but you will like just to kind of look at what I wear on a daily basis. Now, in full transparency as well, I am a brand ambassador for Panzera watches, but I would never recommend a product to you that I wouldn't spend my own money on, and nobody can ever pay me to say something is good when it is not. Ask the people that sent me the electric sea scooters about that one.
Of course this one's not working. Piece of shit.
So trust me guys, when I recommend one of these watches, I promise you if you spend your money on it, you'll love it, and everything that I've told you is true. I've tested it. I'm happy to put my reputation behind it, and yeah, I just think this is a really solid selection of adventure watches. Now, there are other watches as well that I could recommend, but I just wanted to keep it to the ones that I personally am wearing right now the most. But for example, there are things like the new Seiko GMT, $350. It's a beautiful looking watch, GMT function. It's actually very similar to this. This is a custom Seiko that I had made that I wear all of the time. And yeah, I think that is a great option. I am looking at picking one of those up very soon. There is another watch that I really want to get. I need to stop. I'm not going to stop buying watches, am I? But my new rule is for every one new watch that comes in, 2 have to go out. So if I get the GMT and then this Grail, well, anyway, I'm rambling in my own head here. If you've enjoyed this video, guys, please let me know in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up. And if there are any other types of watches that you would like me to review, maybe that's dressy watches, maybe that's watches that are more suitable for travel, let's say, in which case this is the one that's going to win, just spoiler alert there, then that'd be cool to know because I really enjoy doing these videos. I really love watches. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you aren't already because I would love to see you here again. And most importantly, remember, until next time, don't know anything I wouldn't do. See ya.